Hey fam, it's Chelsea. I'm one of the co-founders of Amplify Planner, and I'm here to kind of take you on a little setup for what to do when you feel stuck with using your Amplify Planner. One of the really nice things about the Amplify Planner, and I'm sure it might be one of the reasons why you chose it, was that it really gives you the freedom to do with it whatever you want. The boxes aren't labeled, everything's really open, and for the most part you can really customize it to whatever you want to be. But sometimes that can feel a little overwhelming when you don't have a planner that tells you what each specific spot is for. It can get a little daunting, especially when you don't know what you want to use those spots for yourself. I've been there, Rayanne's been there, and we get it. Sometimes too much space can be a little intimidating. So with that being said, I thought this would be a perfect time to film this video because I'm kind of at a transition in my planning style for my personal planner. I recently kind of changed my layouts up and am now using, this is my Q2 planner, which I did start setting up. So you might see some things here and there, but I just wanted to use it since it's the next quarter that we're using. But I started using my vertical weekly layout for social media planning, which has been extremely helpful. It's a total game changer for me, and I love using my weekly layout for that. But the issue I'm now running into was I was using my freedom boxes in my daily layout before for social media, and now it's kind of redundant to write it in my weekly and then write it again in my daily. So these spaces right here, I don't really need for social media, so what do I use them for now? I'm sure we've all been in that situation, and that might be why you're watching this video. So I thought I would just give you kind of a rundown on what I do when I feel stuck with my planner system and how I troubleshoot that. So with that being said, I'm gonna flip to one of my back pages and use this page as my sort of little brain dump area. It's also really nice because if I do feel stuck again, one of the things with planning, if you've been a planner person for a while, is you do play the game of trial and error. And it can be a lot of fun, but it can be sometimes a little frustrating. So if I'm ever feeling stuck, I have this page to turn back onto and be like, oh right, here's some other ideas that I can use those spaces for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and flip this open, and then I'm gonna show you a couple things that might be helpful and might not be helpful, but you know what? I'd rather give you the tools and go from there. So one thing that I printed out that might be helpful, and this is on Amplify Planner's website under the free downloads, this is the routines and reoccurring tasks tracker. It's really handy for like household things, you know, if you have to change the air filters, like those little things you need to remember to do that are on a quarterly or a yearly basis, those daily tasks you want to track, those monthly tasks you want to track, and then your weekly and bi-weekly. It's a really universal download that you can use for so many different things. But one thing I thought it might be interesting to use for is to figure out how you want to use your planner. I was sitting there like getting ready for this video and I was like, filming new things is always kind of weird. I'm definitely, you know, a plan with me filming person. I can plan with these all day long, but doing new things like this, I get a little intimidated. So I was like, what are some tools that we could use to help with that? And I was like, this might be actually really helpful to break down the different sections of your planner and kind of figure out what you want to plan where. The nice part about the quarterly planner is you have a monthly, weekly, daily, and it's a quarterly planner. So it really checks off a good chunk of the spaces in this download. So it might be a really great tool to help you get started. Another tool, and I turn to this all the time myself, even though I've been a planner person for like 7 years, maybe longer, forever, my whole life. I was born a planner person, I don't know, is this How to Prep Your Amplify Planner for a New Quarter guide. This is also on our website, and it's really helpful, and it does take you step by step on how to kind of get started on your planner. And it's one of those things, especially if you're new, if you're A, new to planning, and B, new to Amplify Planner, this might be really, really helpful. It does take you, you know, we take your hand in hand, together we go into filling out your planner. And yeah, it starts with, gathering your tools and supplies, figuring out your planner style, dedicating the different sections, which is kind of what this could be used for too. So depending on what style you like, you can use this page, you can use this page, you can use a blank page, choice is yours. And then you go into your goals and then diving in. So it's a quick and easy, it's not gonna be super heavy, it's not gonna make you feel overwhelmed, it's just like kind of gets you going. And it's always one of those things when you're feeling stuck, getting the juices going and like actually starting is the hardest part. So with that being said, let's kind of dive in. I'm thinking for right now, I'm just gonna use this blank piece of paper and kind of go from there. I've been using the Amplify planner, I mean, since it was born because I birthed it. But sometimes, you know, it throws me for a little bit of a loop too, and I'm like, ooh, what do I use you for? So one thing I like to do is just break the layout into chunks, into what they are. So if there's a specific layout you're struggling with, if it's the monthly layout, break out, okay, the focus box, the freedom boxes, the days, the to-do list, and the habit tracker. Break that out and be like, okay, what can I use all of this for? I've been planning for a while, so I'm pretty comfortable with my monthly layout. I know what I use it for. Do I use it every day? No, but it's there when I need it to be, so that's always a thumbs up. And then like I was saying earlier, my weekly layout, I got that one down. I'm super pumped to use this for social media, and it just gives me like just such a breath of fresh air to know that like I have this in my planner now, because social media, if you watch any of my other YouTube videos, you know social media can be a little bit of a pain point for me. I have lots and thoughts of feelings on tracking social media. But like I was saying earlier, the daily layout's kind of my weird spot right now. There's some things I really know about it, and there's some things that I'm like, what do I want to do with you? So I'm going to start with my daily layout first, since that's the thing I'm struggling with the most. So I'm going to just break the daily layout into chunks. We have our freedom boxes. Let me move my little pencil guard. Oh, this is the first time writing in my new quarterly planner too, and I'm all nervous. Don't want to mess it up. We all feel the same. So we have our freedom boxes. And this is the area that I'm going to struggle with the most right now. And so we're going to leave a nice, good space for that. We have our hourly timeline. We'll leave a little space for that. I kind of know what I'm doing with my hourly timeline. We have our task list. And then there's also the dot grid section at the bottom. So I'm just gonna leave a little space for the task list because that one I've got pretty much on lock as well. And then dot grid. Okay, so this is where I kind of just wanna brainstorm what could I use the freedom boxes for, and how can it help me be the person I want to be? Because that's the big thing. A lot of us, sure, we use the planner to help us check off our task list, you know, organize the chaos, make sure we don't lose our minds, you know, make sure we feed our family and make sure they're still alive, you know, the very basic human survival we use our planners for. But it's also the how can we grow and evolve as ourselves and be even better versions of who we are. So with that being said, I'm gonna grab my Q1 planner and kind of take a look at some of my goals and give that some thought. Because most of my goals are going to transfer to my Q2 planner. I haven't, you know, completely set up my Q2 planner, but I have got some digital downloads kind of printed off and put in there. So I'm going to grab my Q1 planner and flip to my goals page that I stuck in the front, because it's always easy to flip to, and kind of think, okay, if I'm going to move most of these goals into my Q2, because these were my yearly goals, and one thing I love about having a quarterly planner is you can change your goals. It's fine. No one's gonna know. You get to start fresh, and I love Q2 goal setting the most because, I don't know, it's something about the spring, the longer days, you know, the grass is growing, just that winter grime. I'm not a winter fan. It's just like melting away, and I just feel so much more motivated to goal set and accomplish things than I do in Q1. And I feel like January is just so much pressure. So much pressure to set goals and like, yeah, you're out of the holidays, like New Year's resolution, like yeah. And don't get me wrong, I fall victim for it every single year. but there's just something about planning your goals for Q2 that's just a breath of fresh air and just makes me feel ready to tackle the world. So with that being said, I have a really good idea on how I want to use my freedom boxes, and I have been giving it some thought. You know, take a shower, think about your freedom boxes. All the good thoughts happen in the shower. Am I right? I know I'm not alone. Let me know if that's where all of your good thoughts come from too. And one thing that really stuck to me is, what if I wrote down my goals, every day, because we know that that helps you to like accomplish your goals, but B, how can I turn my goals into systems? We've been reading the Atomic Habits. Yes, I'm still reading mine. It was one of my Q1 goals. It's fine. I'm almost done. Look, I'm almost done. And it's kind of one of the things I want to get back into is like, how can I make systems out of my goals? So I'm going to read just a quick quote. I'm allowed to do that, right? I can read quotes on YouTube. It's from James Clear. Quoting him, he's a smart dude. So let me go to this quote. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. And then there's a quote a couple pages over. True long-term thinking is goalless thinking. It's not about any single accomplishment. It's about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. So how can I turn my goals into systems, and how can I do that every day? So that's going to be kind of what I want my freedom boxes to be. So I'm going to write, as I already mess up, goals versus systems and tracking daily systems. So that's a great start. Now, the tricky part is making sure I have enough room, because I know one of these freedom boxes is already dedicated to this space. So I have 3 other freedom boxes I can use to use for goals or systems. And this is a very, broad freedom box use. You know, a lot of the times freedom boxes are like meals and like your fitness and like stuff like that. So I'm going real wide, and I'm hoping by going really wide, I can kind of narrow it down, and then, you know, come May or June, I'll be more refined in my freedom boxes. But for now, I kind of just want to focus on what can I do every day that's going to help me build a better future for myself. So is that, making sure I track my budget every day? Is that doing a sustainable morning routine? Getting my evening, you know, taking my evening to set up the next day for success? What little things can I do every day that'll help accomplish all of this? So that's what I'm going to leave right here for my freedom boxes. And I'm kind of leaning towards having just based on my goals from this, having a work systems, you know, so things that are related to Chelsea Brown Designs and Amplify Planner. One little thing I could do every day, or a couple little things I could do every day to help accomplish those goals. So having a work systems, having a morning systems, and maybe having an evening systems. I'm not quite sure if I want to label them that. I like the work systems, but the other one I'm like, okay, do I need like a lifestyle systems and like a personal systems? Like, what's the wording I want for that? So I'm going to write that down, because that's a really great idea. Here we are talking it out, and you know, we're getting things done. I mean, I could even call it personal growth. And I mean, what's another good words? And maybe I'll do like a routine. We're gonna let that marinate for a second. We're gonna move on to the hourly timeline. So the hourly timeline I do use for appointments. And I feel like it would be a very good time to also track some of my systems. So, and that can include, I'm gonna put 2 little bullets underneath those, a morning routine and an evening routine. And I've even dabbled in the idea of doing like an after work, or like even like an after lunch routine, perhaps. Just something in between where I can accomplish some other things that aren't necessarily just sitting back down and getting to work, or like jumping up and cooking dinner. So I'm gonna write that down as well, like an after lunch routine. I like that idea more because my after work routine can be a little all over the place, and I feel like an after lunch routine is consistently at the same time, and that will help me achieve those goals better. So you definitely have to think of being realistic. I feel like with January goal setting, new year, new me, you can be a little unrealistic and thinking that, oh my gosh, I can just do all of these things all at once and it's gonna be fine. And guess what? And I know I'm a victim of it too. You start off real strong and then you get burnt out because you're doing too many things at once. And they talk about that in the Atomic Habits of like, just start with one habit. And it's so hard. I get it. I am totally victim of it. I was like right into January, like, yeah, we're gonna have like the best morning routine ever. But guess what? It didn't happen. I'm not doing the best at my morning routine. So what are the things, like, can I narrow my 12-step morning routine down to 3 steps? You know, like, does it have to be this intense? Can we make it small and then go big? So keep that in mind as you're planning things down. And you can write as much as you want in these, you know, areas and be like, you know what, this isn't realistic, but maybe once I get the habit of waking up early, I can have a morning routine. You can't have a morning routine if you're not waking up earlier to do it. I know. I'm right there with you. So that's how my hourly timeline's gonna go. And I do like the idea of morning routine, evening routine, after lunch routine. Boom. Task list. That one's pretty on point. You know, we have our CBD to do things and our Amplify to do things. One area that I use, but I don't use it as much as I would like, is the personal task list. And so maybe some of my routines could get moved to that if they need to. So I'm gonna write down routines in personal, if they are in fact personal. I mean, some of my routines are business related. Growing my businesses, plural, is part of my goals. So of course they're gonna be included in the work tasks because they are work. So that's kind of just a good thing to keep in mind for my task list. Another thing, and I'm gonna put this in an asterisk, that I'm trying to get better at is setting specific tasks for specific days. So Sundays are planning days, like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're gonna sit down, you're gonna film a plan with me, filling out your planner. That's you're gonna have your planner time. So setting that goal and planning it in advance and like set in stone doing it is something that I want to get better at. So I'm gonna write that in because that's a big thing I want to do. Now this dot grid section, I know a lot of you guys struggle with the dot grid section, and it's something I've actually been really enjoying this past quarter, is using it for a today's accomplishments, a random thoughts or like a brain dump, and then I like it for a little tomorrow section as well. Just to write down like, oh, like these are some things I should do tomorrow, like, or you know, whenever, oh, I need to like run to the store tomorrow and I need like these things. So I really do like using the dot grid for that, but this is kind of a new thing for me as well. So with that being said, I'm feeling pretty good with my daily section. Freedom boxes, again, are gonna take some involvement. And so I might do some little lines and kind of break that down a little bit more just to show you guys. Hourly timeline, task list, and dot grid, I feel very confident with those things. And then, like I said, weekly layout and monthly layout, I feel great. So with that being said, we have 3 freedom boxes. So let's kind of break that down. I'm just gonna do, I was like, do I go this way? No, we should go this way. So we'll do freedom box 1. I do like a work systems box. So I do like to use, I should just look in my Q2. I do like to use the freedom box stickers because they make me happy. So let's jump. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. I like that. I was like, I know there are less lines with the stickers on than without. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might run out of room and we might have to get real sloppy in this, but that's what's so nice about doing just like a brain dump of how you want to use your planner. And I need my goals. I already put them out. So some things I would like to accomplish and slash what's a system I could do to help grow my business and help it do better. One thing is social media engagement. I'm one of those people that I only use social media for work purposes. I don't really use it for personal purposes. So I'm never really on social media engaging. I'm like the worst person to have you to follow people. Like, you don't want me to follow you. I'm never going to comment. I'm never going to like. I just scroll. One thing I want to get better about is taking 10, 15 minutes a day to just engage with the community on social media. I know, it's easier. It might be really easy for some people, but for me, it's something I do struggle with. So I'm gonna put down CBD engagement and Amplify engagement. And then another thing I want to do is just continue kind of learning about social media. It's just an ever-changing thing, and just trying to increase my knowledge of how things work, especially things besides Instagram. You know, like Pinterest, I really don't know a lot about, and just kind of learning how the other platforms work so that I can help grow our brands and just go from there. So I did sign up for a social media course, and so just taking time to do that. It's hard because some of the course, like, it's divided into sections. Some of them are kind of long, so if I can plan it in advance and use set specific tasks for specific days and be like, okay, this course is going to take me 45 minutes. Like, let's just plan that in our day and we're going to do it. So I'm going to say expand knowledge or learn something new. Perfect. And then another thing is I want to continue to grow for Chelsea Brand Designs. I want to continue to grow my Amplify Planner sticker line. Even if it's just taking 10 minutes a day to design a sticker, hey, I mean, it shouldn't take me too long, so I should be able to design at least a sticker a week. So I'm gonna say 10-minute design time, and that's a great system of throwing that in. So whether that's an after lunch routine or, you know, an after emails routine or something, it might just be exactly what I need to help with that goal. Okay, and then my last work system is planning in advance, especially when it comes to social media and other things. Sorry, I was like, I can't write and talk at the same time. It's a skill I still haven't accomplished yet. But kind of always having the future in mind of, okay, and I'm good with like doing sticker kits and stuff because that's just always on my mind. And once you get one designed, you know, you design July, you're going to design August after. That's just how it goes. But just keep in mind, okay, like summer's coming up. What are some summer things? I mean, spring's coming up, but summer's after spring. What are some summer things that I can do and start working on now so when summer comes, I'm already prepared? Or what social media things can I think of now that once we get there, it's already set up so I'm not scrambling and like behind. So I like that idea. I don't exactly know how I can incorporate that in to your routine, but it's something, again, that you can think of because we still have a couple more weeks before, you know, your new planner starts. Or again, it's ever changing. You can change this whenever you want. So you can be like, oh, you know what? This is actually a great idea. This is totally how I can plan in advance, whatever that means to you. So work systems. Now I have 2 more freedom boxes, so I'm actually gonna move them down here. And we have like a personal growth in our routines, or like a morning routine and an evening routine, but I don't necessarily like that one. So I'm gonna ponder for a second and think of some words. You know who's really good at coming up with words is Ian. So I might have to bug him to help me come up with some words. But I have 2 more freedom boxes with 5 spaces each, which you don't have to use all of the spaces, but I like to. That's just me. And yeah, what can that be to help create systems instead of goals? So let me ponder for a second. Okay, I'm still kind of sticking to this personal growth and routines, but it might change. So we're just gonna write it. And we're gonna put our 5. And routines. And I think writing it down is what's going to help me the most right now. And I can kind of be like, ooh, this is good. Because I'm looking at my goals and I kind of have it weirdly divided in the ones that are kind of, I'm like stuck on is refreshing our home. We live in a house that we've been like slowly renovating. And so we're just kind of like, okay, we're in the home stretch, but like there's also some like spring cleaning, like decluttering aspects in there too. So I'm like, okay, that's home. And then we have like a budget, like budgeting. I'm like, that's kind of a routine. And then we have like create a sustainable morning routine, sustainable night routine. So that's kind of a routine. Like it's an interesting spot of like my morning and night routines are also kind of personal growth related. So they're the same, but they're different. So I'm going to write them down. And then again, the nice part is I can change it if I want to change it, and we can come up with better words. One thing I want to do, and this is on my Q1 goals, is work on Skillshare. Just learning new hobbies, whether that's doodling or interior design or things like that, I think would be a lot of fun. And I would love to dedicate more time to doing a Skillshare course just for fun, because it sounds like fun. So that's definitely a personal growth thing. So I'm just kind of looking through what could be a personal growth and what could be just a routine. And I mean, routine could even just be morning routine, if that's what I want it to be. I am going to put budget under routine. Okay, we're going to have to give some more thought nuggets to this personal growth one. So I went ahead and put in my routine items. And I was like, I do have like my routine items. There's more of those than like a personal growth besides like the Skillshare. So then I was thinking, you know, it would be really nice to just have a box where I write one thing or the handful of things. I mean, 5 things I feel like is more than reasonable for a day that like I just did for myself, that like wasn't work related, that wasn't like being an adult related. You know, just like a little thing, whether that was, watching a Skillshare thing or visiting Cedar or eating ice cream or something like that. That was just like outside of, you know what I'm trying to say. That. So we're going to have to, think about this last freedom box, and I'm going to have to mess with it a little bit before I find exactly what I want to use that for. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having a question mark box. So, with that being said, I'm feeling very confident in my daily layouts for Q2. I'm going to grab a ruler and a highlighter, and I'm going to highlight these boxes so you can just see them a little bit better. Let's see. And we're going to use this coral colored mild liner because it matches my cover. Boom. Okay, another great thing to do is, if there's a specific spot in the daily layout that you're struggling with, grab one of the notepads and kind of plot it out on there. I know it's not perfect, or you can print off one of the daily layouts, and maybe I'll do that really quick because I think that might be great for this video, and we can kind of map it out on there because you can print off one of the daily layouts for free. So let me go do that really quick, and then I can kind of put this into a better visual for you to see. Okay, so this is the daily layout printed out. It's something that you can get off our website as well. So let's kind of break this down. And I'm going to highlight some areas real quickly first, just for visual effects. So hopefully, you can just kind of see it a little bit better. And I'm a big highlight with a ruler person. I usually don't just freehand highlight. And I'm going to break this little dot grid section up into 3s really quick because that's what I use my dot grid for. Okay, so let's just look at our little guide, and we're going to write in what we're doing. So we're going to do We're going to track appointments in our hourly timeline, but we're also going to track systems. So I'm going to put morning routine, ideally at like 6:30, and then an after lunch routine, because we settled that that's going to be better than an after work routine, and then an evening routine. And those routines, I can either write out underneath them, or I can move them into a freedom box and just kind of know what they are. Do I need to check them off? I don't know. I'm kind of at the point with my routines that, like, even if I do something that's morning routine related, it doesn't, again, have to be my 12-step morning routine program. Even just waking up early and reading or meditating or exercising, one of those three things I will be ecstatic with. So we're going to start small. We're starting small. We can do it. Once we do one thing, we can do more things. I always use this gray freedom box for weather. My today's priorities is usually for social media, making sure just everything gets posted and is scheduled. And then work tasks we have talked about, but I also want to set specific tasks for specific tasks for specific days. So many sharp, sassy S's in that. I apologize. Which this routines and reoccurring task tracker would be perfect for that. My daily habits are usually vitamins. And then I don't want to just set myself up. I'm not usually a monthly habit tracker user. I've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. And it just doesn't stick with me, so I don't hold a lot of thought towards my daily habits, at least up there. I'm just usually not good with that. So that's that. That's how it is. Okay, so let's get into our freedom boxes. This one is always just my daily to-do list. It's the tasks I have to do every day, the checking the emails, the printing the invoices, like that stuff. I do like to check off, so I just designate one freedom box and it's always there. Instead of taking up space in my work tasks, I just have it take up space in a freedom box. So it's always the same. Usually it was down at the bottom, but now that I'm not doing this for social media, I'm putting it at the top. So it might move around. We'll see how that goes. Okay, the next one we have is the work systems. And I'm going to write these out in this one. Okay, so then the third box, I'm just going to call it daily routines, potentially. I might just call it routines. But these are just things I would like to accomplish every day to help me, you know, improve into my better self. So budgeting. And then this third one, like I was talking about, it's like a me time / a personal growth, but I don't want to call it me time. I don't know. That word just doesn't work for me. I kind of just want to call it myself, and maybe I'll find a better word. But just something I've done for myself today, whether it's 5 things, whether it's one thing, that's just like good for my soul. So that's the freedom boxes, and I'm liking this. I don't think my hand will smudge this. Okay, so I wrote in all the freedom boxes, and I am really digging this. So if you're feeling stuck on a certain layout, brain dump, fill it out. I forgot I need to write down these little bottom ones really quick. Okay, so let's do just a quick little overview. If you're feeling stuck with how to use your planner, get out just a blank piece of paper. The back of your planner is great because you can kind of go back to it if you ever need to go back to it. And if it's a specific layout that you're stuck with, break that layout into each individual chunk. If it's the whole planner, break out the whole planner. That's fine too. Use as much space as you need. And sometimes when I'm starting a new quarter, it's something I do love to do. This is a technique I've done in the past as well, where here I have it to show you. I did this when we were getting into 2021, where I broke it down. Freedom boxes, hourly timeline, task list. I broke out my weekly layout, I broke out my monthly layout, and I broke out my back pages, and I even made a color coding key. Like, you can get really in depth if that's what you need. This quarter, I just needed help kind of with my daily layout. So just breaking out my daily layout and be like, okay, what can I put where and where do I need it? So do that. Use your previous quarters if you have them. Use your goals. What can you do with your goals in this layout? What can I do with my yearly goals every single day? So keep that in mind as you're planning this out. And then if you can, print out that layout and kind of have a little, you know, get messy with it, mess with it. Is this gonna work? Go back to your brain dump and feel free to make a mess, to print out new ones. Again, I've been doing this for a while, so I'm pretty comfortable and I kind of know how I want things to be, and I'm pretty set in my ways for my planning style. I know what works. I've done this before. So if you're like, yeah, this is easy because this is all you had to do, I get it. Sometimes you do. You have to massage the ideas and really mess with it before you have something that's going to work for you. I've been pondering this for, you know, probably a month now. So getting it out on paper, I feel so much better. So yes, print out the layout and mess with it and see if that works. And if you're still kind of struggling, maybe you need a digital download too. Maybe this routines and reoccurring task tracker is what you need to break it down even further, especially since it has yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. This might help you, and it might be the step you take first before you even go into that. You're gonna be the one that's gonna know that, not me. And don't forget that we also have the How to Prep Your Amplify Planner for New Quarter digital download. It might be helpful, and it might just be the little baby step you need to get started, and then once you're in, you'll feel a lot more comfortable. Sometimes just writing down the first thing is the hardest part because you're like, oh, it's gonna be a mess. So don't get discouraged. So I hope this helps if you're feeling stuck in your planner system. Just something you can do to try out and see if this helps get the juices flowing and helps you get unstuck. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And if you have any, you know, suggestions for future videos that you would like to see from either Rayanne or I, let us know too. We always love to hear your ideas. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That really helps our channel grow. And we love just, you know, being a part of the YouTube community. And we will see you guys next time. Bye!